Good morning. My name is Jason Branch, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of Brookstone School, and it is my honor and privilege at this time to welcome you to our 2023 Football Media Day. Today, there you go, I like it, enthusiasm. Today is an exciting day. And we are excited about kicking off another season of Brookstone Cougar football. As I look into the crowd, I know we've got parents, we've got friends, supporters, we got members of the local media, and we appreciate your support of Brookstone, and we appreciate you being here this morning, and particularly members of the media. We appreciate the job that you do, not only for our kids, but the kids throughout the Chattahoochee Valley, and we commend you and thank you for doing that. It seems like that it was not that long ago that we were right here in this room. It was a year ago, and I was introducing for the first time our then brand new head coach, Rance Gillespie. And I'm sure Coach Gillespie needs less of an introduction today. In a very short period of time, Coach Gillespie has rebuilt, re-energized, and already left his mark on the Brookstone football program. In his first year, he led the Cougars to an 8-4 season, 3-1 region record, and an impressive 5-1 record in away games. Under his leadership and direction, we were one play, and I mean literally one play away for playing for a state championship in his first year. Prior to coming to Brookstone, Coach Gillespie has enjoyed an over 30-year career, all of it spent coaching at the high school and college level, all within the state of Georgia. He is one of the most talented football coaches in the state of Georgia, and I would submit one of, if not the best, football coach in the Chattahoochee Valley. Some of his career highlights include serving as offensive coordinator on two separate occasions for Georgia Southern University when they sought to redesign and evolve their offense from the triple option, winning 2 state championships at Peach County, being hired by Valdosta High School when the administration at Valdosta sought to find the perfect coach to return Valdosta and its program to its winning ways and position of prominence as one of the most elite and most storied high school football programs in Georgia high school football history, something that he was able to accomplish under his direction and leadership. He has been named Georgia High School Football Coach of the Year on multiple occasions by multiple organizations. And one last fun fact about his career: while he was at Peach County for over an 11-year period, coaching quarterbacks as either the offensive coordinator or the head coach, every quarterback that he coached went on to earn and sign a Division I scholarship. Coach Gillespie has always been a student of the game. He has a proven ability to be able to coach and to get the most out of his kids and players and to develop them and prepare for them not only to play, but to succeed at the next level. We at Brookstone are incredibly fortunate and blessed to have a coach with such knowledge, experience, and ability to lead our kids and lead our football program. At this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce and turn the program over to our very own Coach Rance Gillespie.
Guys, I appreciate everybody coming out today. It's a exciting time of the year. I love this time of year for multiple reasons. It's so much fun for me to start with a group in May and see them transform from kind of looking around to looking for those 9 guys that were the leadership of the football team last year to growing into that role and leading a football team. Trying to figure out where everybody goes, trying to take a young group and teach them how to be a scout team so that you get reps, and trying to get all of those things pieced together, trying to figure out what you're going to be good at, what things we need to emphasize within an offense, where we need to go defensively, and then watching all the personalities come together. Last night, spending the night together, I think those things are so important. And I think by experiencing a year with COVID and having all of those things absent, it became really hard to build a team. And that's the most important part. You hear me talk about relationships all the time, and that's the things that I think are the most important for these kids, but I also think it's the most powerful thing that we have is a brotherhood. And so that's the great thing about high school athletics. And then the other thing is you see this sign. And I kind of got on my soapbox a little bit this spring talking about the direction that you see football heading to NILs and how much am I going to make and all of the individuality that is emphasized in football. And we want to be about something that's a little bit different, because there's very few programs anymore that can honestly say that they stand for a brand and for one another. And that's the way we want to do it here at Brookstone. And we take great pride in that, take great pride in our culture, the things that we accept, the things that we don't, the way that we practice, the way that we conduct ourselves, the expectations that we place on one another. And we emphasize that it's okay for us to place expectations on one another. But as far as the upcoming season, this football team has gotten better and better and better each day that we go out. It's exciting to watch. Offensively, we've got a good core back on that side of the ball, and there's a lot of carryover, and to see them grow from one year to the next has been really good. And there's some people that will have to step up and fill some big shoes. We lost a 1,000-yard receiver, and we lost a back. We lost some offensive linemen. So there's places that people have to step up all over the place. And then on defense, it's not every year that you have a kid that goes to Georgia and a kid that goes to Air Force. We would love to have kids that go to Georgia and go to Air Force every year, but those are big shoes to fill. And our team is working to do just that. So with that, what I will do is I'll open it up to you guys, and I'll ask if there's any questions, and then we'll let these guys come up one by one, and you can ask those. So,
Coach, that first game next week against Chattahoochee County, is that a regular season game or a preseason game?
It is a preseason scrimmage game, so it's our opportunity. There will be some areas in it that are controlled. We'll control some of the special teams. One of the things that we've always done is anytime there's a punt, there will not be a turnover on a punt, because what we will do is we're only going to play 3 quarters. So if there's a turnover, what you end up doing is you end up losing in the whole possession. You could go out and you could have 60 snaps on offense, and they fumble a punt, and you go right back to offense, and you only end up with 25 snaps on defense. So we try to keep it balanced, make sure that if there is a turnover, that's an earned turnover, not a muff punt or something like that. So we'll control some things in the special teams, but other than that, we do want to make it as game-like as we possibly can, so that we'll understand where we're at, understand the feel of a game, the flow of a game, and all of those things. It's really hard to replicate through a practice, and just see where we're at.
Coach, it's been a year now, as he talked about before you came up here. Talk about how that's been this first year under your belt, and talk about how awesome it's been to be the head coach of Brookstone and the AD.
Yeah, it has been awesome. It's been a great experience. I will say that we made the transition here extremely well, extremely fast, and that's not a credit to me at all. That's a credit to these kids and the buy-in that we had from day one. From the first time I stood in front of them, they were ready to do whatever. And that takes a lot of trust, and it's a leap of faith. And a lot of times, anytime there is a change in leadership, there's a group that always kind of wants to stick their toe in the water and kind of say, let's kind of see what this guy's about before we go all in. And that's not the way they did. They jumped all in, and so that transition was made a lot faster. And I think that led to a lot of our success last year. This year, it's even easier. They understand those expectations. The culture is set, and it's just a transition from the group that was leading last year to a whole new group of leadership. And that's a fun thing for me to watch those kids transition into that phase and realize that, hey, if I don't say it, nobody's going to say it. And then to realize that, hey, I can say it, and they will react, and then they get better and better and better. It's like any other muscle. Once it starts to be exercised, they get better and better and stronger at it.
Coach, can you tell us a little bit about all the kids that you brought today?
Yeah. So it's our senior class, and we ask our senior class to come up and speak to you guys. Okay, Holt is offensive lineman, defensive lineman, and I'll just go right down the line for us. Okay, Chris Vickerson plays tight end, and what we call Jack. It's kind of a hybrid outside linebacker, defensive end in our system. Brooks is our quarterback, and then Ian is our center and defensive lineman. And Lane is our starting running back. Also plays what we call the star position. It's a nickel position on defense. And Swift plays receiver and safety for us.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? How important was, with most of these guys having playing experience last year in your offense coming into this new year?
I think it's huge, and so you hope that you have carryover every year. And you start to try to build some of that carryover in your middle school program and at least learn some terminology and base terminology. But there's still always going to be transition with your ninth graders when they go from middle school to varsity. So it's so important for those guys that were 10th graders, your rising 10s, 11s, and 12s to have that carryover to bring that crowd on. And I think we've done a pretty good job, especially offensively. Defensively, it's been a bigger change because we've been in transition completely on that side. We're completely changed what we did from a year ago on the defensive side of the ball. We're doing a little bit more. Last year we based out of a 4-3. This year we'll base out of a 3-4. And so there's more calls, there's more adjustments, all of those things. And so there's on that side of the ball it's been a little bit bigger adjustment.
Coach, coming so close against Pacelli in the GIAA semifinals last year, how much motivation is that going to be coming into this season to beat Pacelli?
Yeah, I'll let you ask these guys, but I can promise you this, for me it's huge. It is huge. It drives me every single day. Okay, that's and I'm not afraid to say that. We're here to win football games, okay? And being that close to winning a championship, that's what we want to be about. We want to be the best in GIA. And so to be that close is a huge motivation for us. And we just didn't quite get it done this year, but that's what this year's about.
Coach, you have a pedigree of great relationship with quarterbacks. That's your forte. You got a new quarterback this year. Talk about your relationship with him and his growth this offseason.
Well, he'll tell you, and all of them will tell you, okay, that I'm harder on him than anybody else out there. Okay, the demands on him are more than anybody else out there, and because of the way the game is played today, and depending on what you do still a little bit offensively, if you're in a wing tee or something like that, there's times that you can take pressure off of a quarterback. And what we do, you cannot. And in what most people are doing offensively today, you cannot. That guy has got to drive the car, and he is under a tremendous amount of pressure. And we replicate that in practice. So he'll probably be relieved when Friday comes along and he'll be like, who is that nice guy on the sidelines? I don't know who he is, but I do. I coach him extremely hard, and he's done a great job handling that. And we're trying to create pressure throughout the practice. And I have tremendous expectations for him, and he will rise to those expectations, I have no doubt. And he's done a great job doing that so far.
Coach, as close as you guys got last year, now you have a year under your belt with this team. How much confidence does getting that close last year give you in this season?
Yeah, so I think every group is different. Every group is new, but certainly we believe that that's where we belong. And we don't shy away from that expectation. That's where we want to be, and we believe that's where we should be each and every year.
Coach, I was here up under the previous coach before you, and you definitely brought a different vibe to the school, to the program. You had an amazing first year. So going into this season, how do you keep that going? Do you change the strategy because you have a different deck of cards, or you keep pushing in the same direction?
Yeah, so I think, maybe schematically, sure, you make some adjustments and you do some things a little bit different. You emphasize different parts of the offense that will accommodate your talent and the people that you have on your team. From a cultural standpoint, I think you keep pushing. I think that you try to raise the bar a little bit each and every year as far as where we can get to from an expectation standpoint. And when I say that, last year we talked about being elite, and that was kind of our word for the year, no different than the brand is this year. And what I meant by that, and what I still mean by that, is you have to be elite every day. You don't show up and be elite on Friday nights by winning a football game. That's not elite. That means that you won a football game. Elite means that you give an elite effort every single day, and that never changes. And that's what football is, right? Because the reason that football is such a great game is it correlates to life, and there's so many life lessons that can be taken from it. And to get up every day and be at your best each and every single day is a very tough thing. And I've had some great friends of mine that have worked for Nick Saban, and kind of up until what Georgia's done over the last couple of years, they've been the model, right, that everybody wants to follow. And so if you're a coach, you want to study that guy. What is that guy doing right? And so these guys that have worked for him, I've asked them, I'm like, what is it? What is it that make? And he can burn some people out too. And they said, every second of every day that you're on the job is 4th and inches. And if you kind of understand that mentality, that's what it is. And so that's kind of the approach that we take on the football field. There's nothing laid back about the game. We want to be intense, have a sense of energy, and know that there's a sense of urgency of what's coming down the pipe, and play with the high motor. It's 4th and inches, right?
Coach, that first game against Glenwood, have you had an opportunity to scout Glenwood from previous films, and how important is it to get a win over, it would be considered a rival as far as with state bragging rights with the private school over in Alabama?
Yeah, absolutely. That's just what we need, is one more big rivalry, right? So, but no, it is becoming that. We see it as that. We've got a tremendous amount of respect for Glenwood. As far as scouting them, we're really scouting the coach at this point, and kind of judging it based on what they have coming back. And we know that they have a talented quarterback that will return, and you try to keep an eye on maybe some guys that they're getting in and things like that. And but we will have limited access to know what to prepare for, with it being the first game other than their film from last year. And certainly we have already started looking at that. And but of course, just like us, they could make some adjustments and to adjust to their talent. And we've got to be ready to make those adjustments early on in the first game.
Hey, I'm going to piggyback off this question.
Sure.
How crucial is it for you to get off to a hot start? Because in the middle of the season, you have 4 straight road games, 2 of them against teams that played in the state championship last year in Stratford and Pacelli. So that's going to be kind of crucial to get off that 2-0 start. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do, and we do have a stretch that's really challenging with some really good football teams right there that have been very successful. And so, yes, it is important for us to get off to a great start, but at the same time, you don't put everything on that game. We want to go out, we want to play to our level. Our expectation is to go out and win that football game, but it's also to play at our level and, not base everything just totally on a scoreboard, but making sure that we play to our level of expectation. And that could be whether we win or lose.
Coach, looking at the schedule again, you guys play Pacelli right around the middle of the season, a couple of weeks before playoffs start. How important is that to kind of see that team ahead of playoffs, and I guess a rematch of last year's game?
Well, the politically correct thing for me to say, okay, is that Pacelli is just another football game, all right, and they're another team on our schedule, okay? The truth is that's not the case, all right? It is our biggest rivalry. Okay, and we don't shy away from recognizing that. So it is a huge game, and a lot will go into to that game, no question. So as far as it preparing us for possibly seeing them again, I think last year that it did. I thought that helped us. I thought we did a better job planning for them the second time. I thought we did a better job, especially defensively, in having a good plan the second go around.
1 year in on the Max Strong Stadium, how was community and being in a brand new awesome stadium, how did that fuel the team, and how do you expect it to fuel this team going forward?
It's like everything that we do is first class. You know, it really is. And it would be really, really hard for me to stand up and try to convince these kids that we're first class, we got to act first class, and you got to do this, and you got to dress a certain way, you got to look a certain way, and then take them into a stadium that doesn't look like that. It's real easy to turn around and say, that's where you're going to play, okay? And you need to act exactly like that stadium looks. And so it's just a reflection of everything that we do. If we do it at Brookstone, we do it right, and we do it to our best ability. And it's a great area for a game. It's great for the fans. The surface is absolutely phenomenal. It's as good a field as we play on all year long.
Holt, I'm going to start it off. Being on the O-line, what are the preparations that you're preparing for your footwork, for pass blocking, to make sure that guy over there stands upright?
Oh, well, we do numerous drills every day in practice and sleds, just again and again. Coach makes sure we know how to do it and do it right.
How important is the offensive line, y'all as a unit, to collectively be on the same page so you can protect not only Brooks, but make sure you have big holes for your running backs as well?
I mean, it's really important. That's the foundation of the offense.
What kind of preparation did you guys take this year for the heat protocol? It was a real hot summer. What did coach do to keep y'all cool this summer?
To keep us cool? Oh, well, I mean, we ran every day. I mean, and if it was too hot, then of course coaches would accommodate for that with more water. But, they made sure. I feel better than I ever have in the heat, and I feel like coaches prepared us for that.
Holt, you've had a year with your head coach now. Talk to me about your relationship with him and just the impact he's had on the team.
Well, I just transferred in February, so but yeah, the best coach I've ever met, and I'm really impressed. I love it here.
Holt, I don't know if you're familiar with the Brucelli jug, but how important would it be to bring that Brucelli jug back to the campus of Brookstone?
Really important. I can already feel the build up to that game and the rivalry, especially with Glenwood coming up, but also Pacelli, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
You said you just came in, welcome to Brookstone. How was it adjusting to Coach Gillespie's offensive scheme?
Well, coming in from Calvary, it's a big move, and coaches were hard on me at first, and I feel like until a week ago I did not know what I was doing, and but now I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Looking into the summer, how did you really improve your game going into the season?
Well, I've lost 30 pounds and gotten stronger in all of my lifts, so that's how I've improved.
My name is Chris Vickerson, and I play tight end and Jack.
Chris, we had the privilege of seeing you play basketball, and being a two-sport athlete, how is playing basketball prepared you for the workouts for football?
It helps with getting in shape, because basketball and football conditioning is two different things. I think basketball is a lot more running than football, so it makes me more in shape so I can stay in the field longer.
You got a lot of accolades in your junior year. What are some personal goals for your senior year?
I expect this football team to win state, and I expect the basketball team to win state as well. So, high expectations.
What are you most looking forward to this season?
The Pacelli game. That's on everybody's mind.
I've seen you grow over the last 2 years, man. You look bigger than I've ever seen you. How important was the weight room and your conditioning over the summer?
That was probably the most important thing, as long as eating and stuff. But gaining muscle, that's probably the way I've gained my most weight I've ever had.
What a typical workout in the weight room looks like on a regular day?
We go by quarters in our weight room. So first quarter, we usually go by cleans, power cleans, and then what would it be bench? Oh yeah, squat. Squat would be the second quarter, And then, what else do we do? We have the med ball throws, plyometrics and stuff like that.
So say you said you conditioning, that's your game.
You mentioned the Pacelli game. If you can elaborate on that just a little bit, to say, just how much that game is an important part of this season and how it can help you in the playoffs.
That game's probably the most important game to me because we've lost the last 2 years, and I want to get the jug back. My personal goals are I want to have at least over 500 passing yards, or not passing yards, receiving yards, and I want to win the state championship.
How is your relationship with your quarterback, Brooks?
I feel like we have a very strong relationship. I think we're on the same page on every play. He knows what I'm thinking. I know what he's thinking.
I'm Brookstone, and I play quarterback.
Brooks, I'll ask the question. You're coming in your first year. I want to piggyback off what I asked Coach Gillespie. Talk about that relationship with him. Talk about coaching you hard. Talk about it from your perspective this whole offseason learning under him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure from their perspective, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. We're, back and forth, arguing, and, I'm being hard-headed, but at the same time, I realize, he's been coaching for 31 years. Probably need to listen to him. But no, he's been awesome to me ever since, we started this last year. And I wouldn't want to have anybody else.
Your QB1 now.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what that pressure feels like going into the season.
I put a lot of that in my faith. I'm a big Christian, and I give everything to God, and I trust His plan. And that's just how I kind of live my life. I don't, any pressure or anxiety, I pray about it and I give to Him. So that's always been how I've been.
Now that you're out of the position, how do you really use this to stand out this season?
Well, I don't know. I just think it is a big role, and I'm really excited for it. But I want to represent the school and my family in the best way possible, along with my teammates. So that's my motto.
How's the mental preparation and the workouts leading up to the season going?
Yeah, it's going really good. I thought we had a really good summer off season, and I think we all got stronger and faster. And then mentally, going to really Coach Gillespie, he's dealt with all of that and has had a really good quarterback relationship with me, and he's someone that I could go to talk about really anything that I have going on. Just staying after practice to talk about some stuff, watching film. He's there for me all the time.
Do you have any individual personal goals this season?
Yeah, I just want to be accountable to my teammates. Just be better every single day. Not really focus on one area, just improving everything just a little bit each day.
Talk about your relationship with your running back and your receivers and Chris and Ian and Swift, and how important is that heading into this year?
Right. Well, this senior class, we're all extremely close. We've known each other for a long time. Holt is the newcomer, but we've all been really close for a long time. And Lane and I have been best friends since middle school, so we've had a great relationship. And then freshman year, Swift, Ian, Chris, we all played football together, so that bond just formed immediately.
We've asked everybody this, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you this. The Pacelli game, right?
Right.
We have to talk about it.
That's the game.
You're the quarterback this season. What are you looking forward to in that game?
Yeah, I think we all have a chip in our shoulder, but at the same time, we want the jug back, and we're going to go in there confident, and we're going to bring our A game, and we expect the same thing from them. But we're just going to go out there and do what we do.
Last year you went into the swamp and beat Glenwood on a last-second play. It was a very close game. Now Glenwood's coming here. I know that they're going to want to have, you guys have a target back. How are you going to prepare for that game, knowing that Glenwood's going to give it all they can because they know how close last year's game and they got beat in their home field?
Well, I think that, the target on our back, I think we want to be the hunters. We're not the hunted, and that's how we're going to go into every single game. And we feel like we're not going to be in the underdogs in any game. We want to be the top dogs, and that's for every game that we play this year.
Hey, my name's Ian McGarry, and I play center.
And I'll start with a question off. I guess I should have asked, I didn't know you played center, but talk about your relationship with Brooks and how important is that heading into this year?
Yeah, it's very close, before every play, he has to make the calls, get me right, because if he doesn't get me right, I can't get the rest of the line right, so it's got to be close, and we hang out a lot, got a great bond, so yeah.
What are some of your personal goals this season?
Personal goals probably be, those pancakes, being on the line, getting as many as possible, and yeah, just creating big holes for my running back, creating a good pocket for my quarterback, getting him his yards. So, yes, sir.
I think we got like 500,000 views on one of the TikToks when you pound town somebody. But what did you do during the off season to get better at being an O-line?
Yeah, definitely the biggest thing, the weight room, getting stronger, working on the footwork. I have a coach I work with, helps me get my feet right, work on my technique, and watching film, stuff like that.
In the GIAA, you've got a very tough schedule. You got to play First Presbyterian Day. You got to go to Stratford Academy. And these are all talented teams. I mean, besides Pacelli, I mean, you look at the other teams. I mean, what are some things you could take away from the season and just the talented schedule you got coming?
Yeah, so we got a lot of good teams we play. Probably the biggest thing is just looking back on film, seeing what we did wrong last year, and seeing what they got this year. So.
This offseason, technique-wise, anything you improve on heading into this year?
I'd say the biggest thing I've been working on is run blocking, staying low, using my feet to my advantage, using the quickness, and then just overpowering people.
We're going to go ahead and ask about both the games we've been talking a lot about today, both Glenwood and Pacelli. If you can just give me your thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for the Glenwood game. I didn't play in it last year because I had an injury, but super excited for that. And then Pacelli is probably my favorite game. I'll never forget my freshman year. First time playing against them was probably the most fun I've ever had. So, very excited.
How does it feel to be a leader on the O-line, and how have you welcomed the new guy?
It's been great meeting Holt and all the O-line, but I just gotta do my best, make my calls for them because we all depend on each other. So, if we're not all in sync, then can't do anything.
Do you like run blocking or pass blocking better?
I'd say run blocking because, it's a little more physical, more fun, not as passive. But, they're both very fun.
Good morning, my name's Lane Cannon, and I'm the running back.
Lane, I'm going to start things off. You were the backup running back to Dimitri Flowers. You averaged 8 yards a carry, over 8 yards a carry.
Yes, sir.
And you are now running back number 1. How does it feel being the starting running back for the Brookstone Cougars, and what type of season are you looking forward to this year?
It feels great. I feel like being behind Dimitri last year very well prepared me. Got a lot of reps at scout team, and I'm going for 9 yards a carry this year.
What are some of the things you've done during the offseason to work on your speed and agility? I think he was a real explosive back. I've seen you come out that backfield when there was no hole, you just pew! So what are some of the things that you've done to help you go into the senior season?
A lot of plyometrics, a lot of heavy lifting. Our weight program is phenomenal with that. So probably even more fuse out of the backfield.
How cool is it to play with one of your best friends, Brooks, and be in the same back?
It's so fun. The dynamic's crazy, and we love each other. We all love each other.
Tell us a little bit, looking ahead to the Glenwood and Pacelli game, just how excited you are.
I'm extremely excited. I love rivalries, and I plan on playing my A game, all game, both of those games.
What does it mean to you to be a leader on this team?
It means a lot. Brookstone's a community, and I love every single grade, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and being a leader means a lot.
What's it like playing under the bright lights of Max Strong Stadium?
It's great. The energy's electric. Great student section, great lights. The LEDs are awesome. It's phenomenal.
What are some personal goals you set for yourself for this season?
I definitely want to rush over 500 yards, and we want to win the national state championship. My bad. I wish there was a national championship.
Good job, Mike.
My name is Swift Branch. I play wide receiver and safety.
Coming behind arguably one of the best wide receivers Brookstone ever had. How would that pressure come behind Walter, and what have you done over the summer to prepare for your senior season?
I personally think, starting behind Walter last year was a big help to me, just to see how he played and like the game through his perspective of a D1 athlete. I think that was very helpful for me this year. And, the off season, I've really focused on core values of being a wide receiver, so like footwork, catching ability. But, yeah, I think it was actually really good for me to see just how he can work the offense last year.
Did you and Brooks have a lot of time this offseason to go out and catch passes, get on the same page heading into this year?
Yes, sir, we did. And we've known each other for years now. And so the chemistry there is already very tight. But this offseason we have worked on building that even further.
Of course, I got to ask you about the Pacelli game, if you want to give your thoughts on
The Pacelli game. I'm excited that we get another shot at him after what happened last year. It'll be exciting. It'll be a great game. We're gonna play our best. They're gonna do the same. So,
Of course, to piggyback off that, you guys open up the regular season with Glenwood.
Mm.
Of course, we all know that was a super close game last year. How are you looking to hold down the fort here at home?
I am confident that we can beat Glenwood, especially in the MAC. With the student section going crazy and the home field advantage, and just the growth that we've had in the off season in preparation for this season. I think we have a strong chance against them.
What were some of the things you've learned from Walter Blanchard, who's now at Georgia, to develop your skill set better coming into this season?
Well, the biggest thing he did for me was teach me the offense. I was walking in, JV player last season. He had no clue what I was doing. And he really taught me, how to run each route correctly and who to block and when. He was a big help on that. And he just gave me like little tips and tricks, like releases or like where to catch the ball in different scenarios. It was all great.
What does it mean for you to play for Brookstone?
Playing for Brookstone is an honor just because of that community that it comes with. You can walk down the halls and see all your buddies playing football with all the buddies that you're playing football with and know there's something bigger than yourself that you're playing for. So, it's amazing.
What does it mean to you to be a leader on this team?
Being a leader is it's a big honor and something I've personally looked forward to. Just furthering a bond with like a freshman that I wouldn't know if I didn't play football is a really beautiful thing. So I really enjoy that.
Who's your biggest fan, mom or dad?
Oh, that's a hard question. They are both here. I'm not sure.